Be honest. If your bank account was to hit zero tomorrow, would your sense of worth also be zero? Because if the answer is yes, you have a bigger problem than money. In the last video, I showed you the self-worth blueprint. I showed you that your self-worth sets your boundaries dictate your choices produce your outcome or your net worth. I showed you my life as proof. The bankruptcies, my body collapsed, the $5,000 decision that led to the $1 million sale. But here's the question the video didn't answer. Does the money that you have in your bank account set the limit or dictate your self-worth? If your bank account is low, does that mean your self-worth also has to be low? Or can you have a high self-worth even when your net worth hasn't caught up with you yet? The full picture of what you're actually worth is actually bigger than your bank account. And it's bigger than the number you have in your bank account. So I'm going to show you two women who had the money, but not the self-worth. And then I'm going to show you what it looked like when I thought I had no money at all, but had a big purse that was already full. And once you see it, you'll understand why some women with money still live and play small, only to get a small win, while other women who have nothing play big, like they already have the money in the bank and have won. I'm going to show you what it looks like when someone has the net worth, but a low self-worth. Your life will shrink to the level of your self-worth, even if you have the money in the bank. You can have the cash in the bank and still say no to the very thing you've been saying you want. And Melissa is exactly what that person looks like. Melissa was a woman who was looking to invest. The investment she wanted to make was in purchasing an apartment. She had the money, she had the resources, and she was finally looking for a place that had a really nice layout, beautiful view, a place that was everything that she was looking for. And guess what? She found it. She found the perfect apartment, except it was on the second floor. Now, why is this a problem? Because she couldn't go up the stairs. Melissa had injured her back in February, 5 months before. She'd never went to the doctor and she never got her back fixed. So here she is, standing in front of the very thing that she says she wants. And what choice does Melissa make? She says no to the very thing that she said she wanted. So Melissa takes a unit on the first floor instead, a unit that she doesn't want. And that is her life shrinking even without her realizing it. Now, what makes a woman who has net worth say no to the very same thing that she said she wants? What makes a woman shrink her own life? It is her belief system. A belief that says, I'm not worth being taken care of. She didn't see herself as an investment. That was the size of her purse, literally. That was the belief system that she was carrying around, and she didn't even know it. Now, here's what I want you to know and see. This is not just about investing in an apartment. This was an opportunity literally knocking on her door. Life handed Melissa the exact opportunity that she was looking for, even though up until this point she hadn't been taking care of herself. What she was really doing was limiting herself, literally and physically. Look at what opportunities came her way, and she was not even able to say yes. And most importantly, what opportunities are coming your way that you may not realize? Saying yes to an opportunity can transform you. Melissa didn't realize that this apartment was presenting her the very opportunity to invest in other areas of her life, like her health. If she said yes to the second floor, she would have been forced to go to the doctor and actually take care of her back. If she saw this as an opportunity to invest, it would have been investing in her fun. She loved the view. She loved how spacious the place was. She loved how it made her feel. That's joy sitting right there. And yes, an opportunity to invest in her was wealth. The apartment was within her means. It was in her budget. It was an investment. And the same investment that Melissa said that she wanted. Saying yes to this would have upgraded her entire belief system. It would have expanded her purse. It would have been the bridge between the woman she was, neglecting herself, saying no to her own desires, and the woman she would become. A woman who takes care of herself actually takes care of her body. A woman who claims that she says she wants something, she actually does the talk and walks the walk and honors what it is that she says. And instead, guess what? She wouldn't even be able to walk up those stairs. But Melissa couldn't really see it because her purse was too small. Her belief system was too small and it could not hold that upgrade that she was looking for. So instead, she downgraded her life. She's gold wrapped up in copper. The opportunity came knocking. The gold was there, but she covered it up instead. Let's talk about Teresa now. If you look at Teresa's life from the outside, you'd think that she has it all figured out. Her net worth is high, impressive, the kind of number that people look at and think she's made it. She has a gorgeous wardrobe with stunning pieces. She's not me, by the way. She even has the gorgeous house to go with it. The kind of home that many people wish they could buy. It looks like from the outside that Teresa has got it all made. But if you look closer, past the clothes, past the numbers, past the beautiful house, her body is falling apart. Her health is at zero. She cannot sit down and enjoy what she has, not even a single dollar that she has made. Why? Because Teresa has been earning but not building wealth. She has built a tall, impressive staircase with no structure support right underneath it. Teresa, let's say, is just the kind of woman who doesn't know how to rest. She doesn't know how to sit still. Her self-worth is so tethered to the productivity that she cannot access the very life that she is paying for. In fact, she recently moved to a house on the beach, and guess what? She's never been on the beach. Not once. There are days when Teresa is bedridden. And instead of being able to rest, guess what she's doing? She's actually working. She literally cannot get up from bed. And yet, she's working from her bed. She cannot rest, and she does not know how. This is a woman whose belief system will not allow her to rest. So, I ask you, what kind of self-worth is that? Would you say the appearance of her net worth, that number that people see outside, truly reflects the real worth? What makes a woman purchase a life that she can't actually show up for? Because Teresa, self-worth is, her purse is big and it looks big from the outside. It looks like a Birkin bag. But if you open it up and look inside, there's nothing there. She has no health. She has no capacity to enjoy really herself or her relationships. She can't even enjoy her wealth, which she has overinvested in. Look at what overinvesting does to her wealth and what really the cost is. It's costing her health, which now reflects in every area of her life. Since she doesn't protect her health, she doesn't protect her time. She doesn't protect her time, she doesn't protect her peace. And so her choices, all of those really lead to little decisions that lead to grind instead of rest. She has built an impressive looking staircase with nothing to hold it. She lives in a beautiful house near the ocean and cannot even walk to the beach. She has a closet full of clothes and a body too exhausted to enjoy them. She has the net worth, but does she actually have the wealth? Teresa is gold. She has that inherent value, and nothing can ever take that away. But you may ask, how is it possible that her belief system does not allow her or lead her to live a valued life? Something worth carrying. Can she not see that? Can you see how she has never taken time to polish herself? How by neglecting her care for so long, the outer appearance of gold looks tarnished. On the outside, she looks like a worn, scratched up penny. Her value, her true self-worth, that is really gold, is there. But you would never know it by looking at her life. So the money sits in the bank account and the woman sits in her house, and she's never able really to enjoy either of them because of the life that she has created. This is what happens when your self-worth is attached to what it is that you do and not who you are. Her self-worth is unbalanced. She says yes to more work and no to rest. Yes to the performance at the cost of her connections. Yes to the next dollar and the next sale, but no to the beach, which would actually lift her spirit, her mind, and her fun. Her net worth looks successful on paper, but can you see how her net worth is a reflection of her self-worth? She presents herself to the world as tarnished gold, and it shows up everywhere in her life. So let me ask you something. What is net worth really? Is it the dollar amount you write on a piece of paper? Or is your net worth a reflection of the investments you have made across your entire life? Because here's what I've come to understand. Net worth is not just a dollar sign. It is the sum of every area of your life. Your health, your time, your mind, your spirit, fun, and connection. And don't forget wealth. That is your true net worth. And your self-worth is the size or the container that carries everything that you determine is self-worth to you, which allows you to hold every area of your life. So now we have seen two examples of what it looks like to have net worth and how it reveals your true self-worth. But what if you don't have net worth? What next? You might be thinking, what if my bank account doesn't reflect it or it's low? What kind of self-worth is that? Or does it mean just because I don't have it that my self-worth is low too? I'm going to give you my own example and then you tell me what you decide. Does the dollar amount in your bank account determine your self-worth? And I'd love to hear your response. You can leave your comments below. Here's my $20 story. True story, by the way. There was a time in my life when my play budget for the entire month for a family of 5 was $20. $20. That was it. And at the time, I had been bankrupt. I had not a whole lot, and by any means or standard of calculation, my net worth was nothing. But here is what I did with those $20. And I want you to see how my self-worth was not on pause because my bank account was low. I did not wait for permission to live a very full life. I just chose to live. There's a saying And it's true. The best things in life are free. I got creative. I began looking at my life through the lens of an opportunist. I took advantage of the free things that really made life for me worth living. The things that are actually available to everybody. I went to the library. I checked out books for free. I definitely built up a whole wealth of knowledge in my mind. I looked up for free community events. What community events are near your area? So I went to galleries, I went to museums whenever they were free. I went to the thrift shops, found amazing treasures, next for nothing. I gathered my friends at someone else's house and we played cards. I even threw parties in my living room. It was pretty cool, actually. I was living a full life, a vibrant life, connection, fun, sunshine. These are all the things that are available to everybody. And I was able to operate in total abundance with just $20. So you see, the size of your container, the size of my self-worth was not determined by the cash that I had. I determined the size of my container, but what I believed I could hold. And my container was already big. If you've watched the other videos, you know where I started. Bankruptcy, saving my first $1,000. What that really taught me was how to build self-trust. Building an emergency fund taught me security. I was building and growing financially, but I always haven't done this perfectly. Life isn't linear. There was a time when I was building my life just like Teresa at the cost of my own health. There was a time when I was over-investing, neglecting the support walls, and just like Teresa, when the weight hit, my staircase collapsed, my body collapsed, and just like Melissa, whatever life or opportunity was being presented to me, I couldn't take advantage of it at the time. And that collapse forced me to rest. And because I needed rest, I chose to rest and choose to rebalance. I took care of my health. So when the next opportunity came knocking on my door, I was ready. I said yes, where Melissa said no. And that yes led me to another and another investment, a $20,000 investment, a $100,000 investment, eventually the sale of $1 million investment. Each step had to support whatever was being built. Because I've been investing in every area of my life, not just the one with the dollar sign. This is where life gets good. I want to tell you something, and this is my strength. Because throughout all my experiences, when I had the money, when I didn't, when I was healthy, and even when I wasn't, I always knew intrinsically, I knew I was gold. I didn't always know how to do things. I didn't always make the right choices. There were times when I tarnished my own gold. I overworked and neglected myself. I made decisions that didn't honor my worth, but I never stopped believing that I was gold. I kept treating myself like I was worth investing in. I kept learning, I kept growing. I treated myself like gold with $20 and a library card. I wasn't waiting for the world to validate me. I wasn't waiting for a number on a piece of paper to tell me that I had value. I was living, and over time, my net worth expanded to reflect that gold. So now you've seen 3 examples of how your self-worth equals your net worth. Melissa had the money, but couldn't say yes to her own life. Her self-worth literally limited her net worth. Teresa has the money and yet can't enjoy a single dollar. Her net worth looks impressive, but in actuality, she's not able to enjoy it. And her life is limited, as is her self-worth. And my own journey from $20 play budget to $1 million is a great example about your self-worth equals your net worth. In every single case, the self-worth came first. The net worth followed. When you know how to invest in yourself, you set yourself up for what I like to call setting yourself up for success. It's when opportunities arrive and you're ready. You create a foundation that is able to support the decisions that you make. But Diana, you may ask, how can I actually start? That is actually very simple. All you need to do to invest is subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. But really, if you have no money in the bank, our next video, you'll be able to catch that answer. You are gold, you always were, and it is time to start acting like it. Coaching from the heart, Diana.